Thank you for choosing to watch this. We are looking at creating strategies for taking back Nigeria, strategies for ending bad governance in Nigeria. First of all, we have a problem, and we must accept that we have a problem. And the problem cuts across every sphere of life in Nigeria. That problem does not care whether you're a Muslim. That problem does not care whether you're a Christian. That problem does not care whether you serve any deity that is homegrown. The problem is with us as Nigerians. And the problem is multifaceted, because if those who wanted to control us wanted us to get out of it, they would have made it easier. So the problems are multifaceted because they are there to control us. Now, if we look at Islam, we look at Christianity, we look at paganism, those are means by which man communicates with his maker or higher spirits. And no man has ever gone to the beginning to look at how these things came about. So let's put that aside. Now, when you look at tribe is a place, a people, and their set of customs, cultures, peculiarities, and predilections, idiosyncrasies that make them a unique entity. Now, when you look at political affiliations, you look at the way people have turned politics in Nigeria, actually. It has metamorphosized from what was handed us. And what was handed us was not a good system. What was handed us so that we must travel down this kind of line, this trajectory. So, now that we know that we have these problems in Nigeria, how do we go about solving them? Let's start from the middle, the ones that are easy to solve. The easiest would have been political affiliations, but in a poverty-riddled land, you find that poverty makes man do so many things that he shouldn't do. So let's put that aside. Let's start with tribe, the easiest as I know it for now. Ask yourself, what would we benefit if we were united as one entity, driving and striving for a common goal as Nigerians? Development will come. Everybody, every group would prosper. And it will push for the best of the best to come out. And insofar as this best of the best is benefiting everybody at large, we don't have any iota of excuse to rip down that system. Now, why is that system there? Don't forget we're still talking about tribe. Now, why is that system there? Over the years, the people who are refined, the people who are well-to-do, have been orderly, have done things according to the book, and we look at that book again very soon, because this is not the book that our forefathers handed us, because our forefathers always did things the right way, did things with empathy, did things as humans, did things with a good conscience. Humanity is what they call it in one English word. Our forefathers did things with humanity behind their heart. Now, when you go back again and look at the system that has been handed us and is keeping us the way we are, you'll find out that it lacks humanity. Those who are in the forefront today are those who were disadvantaged. They call it street smart, but it shouldn't be what is ruling a country. These are people who were grown in an atmosphere of disarray, disorderliness, and they had no other mode of surviving but applying this chaos into the system. Now, with the chaos, those orderly people, those people who were well-to-do, who were the cream of the society before now, who incidentally and ironically looked upon these other disadvantaged people as riffraffs. I know most of your parents called these people riffraffs, called them names, but didn't want to lift a finger to move them from where they are to a higher place so that they would integrate to society as better human beings. No. These people brought their chaos into the system, and all the children of these well-to-do, these middle-aged, middle-class people ran away because they couldn't match the madness. And so the system became that these people increasingly took over the society, increasingly took over our politics. And these people knew that in the presence of orderliness, they will be useless, they will be irrelevant. And so they brought their chaos and sold it to the people. One of the ways that they sold this chaos is through the method that the British or the colonials used to rule Africa, divide and conquer. They brought divide and conquer into the system, and they separated us as Nigerians by our tribes and by our religion. And then they created a cult-like followership for themselves, which is now the political parties. So now that has been explained. Let's go back to the middle of these three problems, which is tribalism. That they have cut us off from a united front means that we cannot present a united front, a united idea, a united need, a united progress or development goal or path, or as we call it, we cannot go the route to development because we cannot go it together as one indivisible entity, as Nigerians. So, these people have destroyed the system so that they can perpetuate themselves. And they are willing to kill people. They are willing to maim. They are willing to do anything to ensure that they remain relevant, remain in power. Now, being that they have divided people, and religion and tribe are the greatest weapons in divide and conquer, they used it. Now, there's this thing called geopolitical zones. It's another way of dividing people. It is the political part of divide and conquer that Nigerians have devised for themselves. Okay, so finally, let's look at tribe. Tribalism, when you look at this word, it favors my tribe over another. And when you say the people that left us give us bad systems so that they can keep controlling us, they keep controlling us through these set of governance, this set of ideas and ideologies that they passed down. Religion is one of them. But again, let's finish with tribalism. These people who left us in the care of a rotten system knew that down line we are going to differ in the direction of our religions, in the direction of our ethnicities, because that is the way they designed the system to run. And that is how they divided and conquered us and kept us where we are. Okay, now our brothers are the ones doing their dirty work for them this time around. And who benefits in all this chaos? When you finish taking the money, when you finish stealing, when you finish doing what you do, when you finish destroying your environment, you take that money and go to their land to settle down, to invest, to do everything. If you don't invest it, you go to hide it there. And when you hide it there, they use it to develop their own places. Now, steps that have been taken by different countries. You look at the Commonwealth. These are agencies that keep you together and milk you dry. You talk of assimilation, worse. Now, they added something to this. They added what you call the foreign aid. There's this writer, Dambisa Moyo, that wrote Dead Aid. Now, it goes to show how it's a cyclic process. They rip us, they milk us dry, and then they bring back some of that money and use it to look good in our eyes, as if they're helping us out of the mess that we are in. While in reality, they're the ones that put us in that mess. That aid, there's something right now called the USAID that is being dragged on social media. And one of the reasons why it is that way is because it has been exposed to be one of the tools that they use to subvert, to control and destabilize and perpetuate their own profit over your sovereignty, over your ability to rule yourself, over a good society for you. So, in the end, what that means is that the tribalism that we are using to destroy ourselves benefits these foreigners, because when we are dysfunctional, we only want to gather here and take to them so that we secure what we've stolen. When we do that, they bring back a little bit more as foreign aid, and we do more. So, in essence, these same people, these foreigners, sponsor our tribal hatred against each other. They amplify the rhetoric, and they do that through this foreign aid. So, it is no longer just your brother anymore. It is now a very, very intricate system. It is now that crazy mix of you, foreigner, and the devil together in this mix. What that means is the tribalism. It's not because your brother hates you or you hate your brother. It's because a foreigner looked and saw that there's a small rift, there's a small divide amongst the tribes. Hatred that the tribes did not grow by themselves. Hatred that they instilled in us. And then they supplied the new rhetoric that the Igbo man is a problem, that the Yoruba man is a problem, that the Hausa man is a problem, that the Idoma man is a problem, that the Efik man is a problem, that the Ijaw man is a problem. And when you look at it, it means that every part of us is a problem to Nigeria. And in essence, yes, we are all parts of it. And we are all parts of the problem. Because we allowed the foreigner to divide us. Look at Rwanda, for instance. I'll step in with that. Rwanda had the same issue. They had a genocide for it. And they reconciled, knowing that in the end, who is my brother? The Watutsi, or the Abatutsi, or the Tutsi as we call them, said to the Hutus, you are actually my brother. Why did we quarrel? Why did we fight? Why did we kill ourselves? And they realized that these things, these ethnic rifts, were funded, the rhetoric, the new rhetoric that caused the genocide, were funded by foreigners. And so they reconciled, knowing that they were truly brothers. Look at Rwanda today. Rwanda is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. They reconciled. They realized that they were not enemies to each other. Now, the way forward for us in Nigeria would be to tribalize Nigeria. It's okay to know your customs, your culture, but it is time Ohaneze died. It is time Afanifere died. It is time Arewa died. It is time Nigeria as a culture rose or rises. It is time for us to rise as Nigeria. Now, in this new Nigeria, we will have cultural days. We will have cultural identity to mark our differences and celebrate our differences. That way, we will learn to respect and accept our differences and work together knowing that we are different and knowing that in our difference we are brothers. In this unity, and only in this unity, can we now come up and ask in one voice that bad governance ends in Nigeria. And it will happen because the people have come out with one unified idea, ideology, and one unified purpose to end bad governance in Nigeria. Detribalize Nigeria. Once we realize that this is not our problem, but an imposed problem. And this imposed problem is for the purpose of dividing us so that they can continue ruling over us. Once we realize this, we will detribalize Nigeria and we will work together and we will have a great nation. Thank you.